product of two drug-addicted turned crack-addicted parents born in the projects of Wilmington, Delaware.
You know, you go from $250,000 in credit card debt to a 7-figure business to an 8-figure net worth.
Looking for love in all the wrong places, buying love, paying for people to do things. Like, it wasn't even that I really had anything left to show for it. And you already kind of let the cat out of the bag. It got to $250,000 in credit card debt. For some of y'all not there yet. Your money can't make you money because you're just trying to live for right now. But look at where you can reduce some of your expenditures to create the cushion that you need to be able to breathe a little bit better. When I graduated, I had about $45,000 in credit card debt. And can I just say right here, right now, for all the people that watch the table, I wasn't flossing, Anthony. I didn't have Gucci and Prada and Louis. I didn't even know about those things.
Right.
I literally was...
Yo fam, life doesn't wait for your payday, and neither should you. I want you to imagine getting your paycheck up to 2 days early. With Chime, you can. I want you to open a checking account in just minutes at chime.com/TTAO and start experiencing the freedom of getting paid early. You see, with no overdraft fees, no minimum balances, and no monthly fees, plus over 50,000 fee-free ATMs at stores you love, like Walgreens, CVS, 7-Eleven, and Circle K, your money is always within reach. Your funds are 100% covered through the FDIC insured up to $250,000, and you'll enjoy a peace of mind with Chime's instant transaction alerts and robust security features, including 2-factor and fingerprint authentication. Join me and millions of members who are already enjoying the benefits of Chime. I want you to open your account today at chime.com/TTAO. Again, that's chime.com/TTAO. Chime feels like progress. Dr. Darnyelle.
Yes.
Welcome to the table.
Thank you so much for having me.
Man, listen.
I'm so excited to be here.
Listen, this has been months in the working.
Yes.
And I've been following your journey. We have a mutual friend, Patrice Washington.
Hey, Patrice.
You know, she connected us months ago. And what you are doing, I was like, wait, wait, what? Right, who is this woman? And I started following your journey, and I was just highly impressed. And so we started talking about getting you on the show. And we're here.
We're here.
And we got so much to talk about.
We do.
Because I'm sitting in front of a woman who has God's really touched. You know, you go from $250,000 in credit card debt to a 7-figure business, to an 8-figure net worth, to 24 doors, as in like you're in rental properties, living your dream, impacting women.
Yeah. And a few good men.
And just a few. You know what I'm saying? But it's like what you've accomplished, one, as an individual, because I don't want to just say, oh, as a woman, she's doing well. No. As a human being, you are tremendously making an impact. But then to build all of this as a Black woman in today's day and time, when some people would say Black women are most disrespected, hardly protected, you've been able to get over those obstacles and build an impact. And we're gonna break all this stuff down today. But I do want to go back to, because I think everyone can see who you are today, the impact that you're impacting today. And like, oh, of course she did it. You know, mom and dad handed her this, or she got that, she got this. But I think people need to know your backstory a little bit before we get into the great stuff. And you're gonna learn some things today, right? And I want y'all to dial in and stick around to the very end, because what she's going to be teaching today, I think we all need it. And here at the table, don't forget, we focus on helping you build wealth, get out of debt, and really live the life that you want to live. And what she's been able to overcome and get through and build, listen, man, she's welcome at the table anytime that she wants. But let's go back to the very beginning. With where you are today, people say, well, she had to have a alley hoop. Someone had to give her something. Is that the case for your upbringing?
That would be a no for 200. Like, absolutely not.
For 200.
For 200.
Okay.
At least 200.
Okay.
No, I mean, I am the product of two drug addicted turned crack addicted parents born in the projects of Wilmington, Delaware. My mom has 7 kids. My dad has 4. They share 3.
Wow.
My mom went to jail when I was 8.
Wow.
And so I went to live with my father and my stepmother, and nothing was handed to me. I started working at the age of 13 just to be able to get more than my basic needs met.
What?
Yeah.
13, you had to go to work.
Working papers. I don't even know if they do that anymore. But
What,
back
working
in the day,
papers. Oh, work permit.
Yeah, you had to get
Yes.
permitted
Yeah,
to work.
yeah. I did too. To work at Taco Bell, I had to get a work permit.
McDonald's.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
See, this is why you're at the table, because I don't want to disrespect my parents, but my parents were on the lower end of the middle class. Mm-hmm. So we were living literally paycheck to paycheck. There really wasn't no room for, hey, I want some Jordans, or hey, I want to go in this camp. It was, okay, if you want that, we got to get your working papers, and you go to work, and you got to pay for that.
That's right.
And so you got your work permit at 13 years old. With as successful as you are today around money, and you talk about money, you live and breathe and teach money principles. Was that ever a conversation between you, your dad, and stepmom?
Yeah, from the standpoint that it doesn't grow on a tree out back, that you have to work hard for it.
Okay.
Yeah, money was talked about. Like, that's all I ever heard. That's what I think a lot of us, that's all we hear is you got to work hard, you got to work hard, you got to work hard.
Yeah.
And so we associate hard work with our ability to earn. And once you get to the point where I'm blessed to have gotten to realize that, no, actually, I don't have to work hard. My money's supposed to work hard. Right? But it took me, of course, a long time, a lot of debt, bankruptcy. I know we're going to get into all of that to get there. But yeah, no, my dad never taught me anything. I wish I had. I wish education provided us with even a basic financial literacy education. Because I literally went to college on a full academic scholarship, meaning it cost me nothing to be there.
Yeah.
But by the time I graduated, I had enough credit card debt to have paid student loans.
Do you remember that number?
When I graduated, I had about $45,000 in credit card debt. And can I just say right here, right now, for all the people that watch the table, I wasn't flossing, Anthony. I didn't have Gucci and Prada and Louis. I didn't even know about those things.
Right.
I literally was looking for love in all the wrong places, buying love, paying for people to do things. Like, it wasn't even that I really had anything left to show for it. And you already kind of let the cat out of the bag. It got to $250,000 in credit card debt.
So you graduated college with about 40,000.
About 45.
And then eventually between college and when you say what age, you racked up about 250,000.
32.
By the time you was 32 years old, doctor.
Yes, sometimes you can
Darnyelle,
only laugh to keep from crying.
You had $250,000.
Yeah.
Okay, you had to be flossing once you got to 250,000 though.
I mean, I had a few things.
Like,
I mean, I think at that point in time, I was driving a Mercedes.
Okay.
But, okay, and let me just sidebar and say this real fast, because as the middle class, we are taught to believe that money is about having good credit so you can live beyond your means. So I had really good credit. I had an 800 FICO score. They kept giving me credit, and I would find a way to spend it.
Right.
I mean, I was taking great vacations. I was traveling around the world.
Yeah.
By myself, Italy. I mean, going to amazing places, staying in amazing resorts.
Yeah.
Not necessarily my finest hour. And I'm grateful, and I don't know if anybody else would be able to say this. I'm grateful that when I filed bankruptcy, because I couldn't keep up with robbing Peter to pay Paul anymore.
Right.
The bankruptcy trustee required that I take a financial literacy course. I think he honestly looked at my docket and was like, if I don't help this girl, she's gonna be back in my courtroom. So I was required to take a financial literacy course, and that was the beginning of everything changing. That was at 35, and by 38, I was a millionaire.
Wait. Go back.
Okay, let's go back.
32.
32.
$250,000. That's 250, comma, 000 in debt. Cars, credit cards. Did you have a mortgage in there at all?
I did, but my mortgage wasn't included in the credit card. That was just what was put on credit cards. And it was a lot of, hey, can you pay my electric bill?
For family or friends?
For family, for friends. Can we go? Let's go do this. Or we're going out to eat and I'm flossing.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
It's a table, you know, we keep it real here. How much of that did you spend that on men?
Oh, probably a lot. I looked for love in all the wrong places.
So you was buying men stuff?
Listen. Mom.
If y'all want to buy me anything, I'm single. I ain't expensive. I'm playing.
My mom went to jail at 8. I had abandonment issues. So I did what I thought I had to do in order to be loved and feel loved. I mean, it's not my finest hour, but I'm keeping it real with you because I know that there are people who are listening right now that is also their story and they're not on the other side of it.
Wow. If you're not on the other side of that, you need to send me an email. I want to help you get on the other side of that.
And hopefully it's not as bad as it was for me. It was bad. Like it was, there are no excuses. There's only grace.
Yeah.
The grace of God and the ability to be able to file bankruptcy, Chapter 7, and have it all absolved in exchange for taking a financial literacy course.
If you could go back to your younger self at 28, what would you say to that 28-year-old now?
Yeah, I would probably say 3 things.
Okay, what's that?
The material things aren't worth it.
Facts.
Number 1. Number 2, learn how to save.
Okay.
Now, I had made a few good decisions because I had a financial advisor as soon as I started working.
Okay.
I took advantage of the 401k and the 401k match. So I had money that was building, but not money that I could, immediately get access to. And then the third thing I would say, you are enough. You don't have to look for love in the wrong places and you don't need anyone else to validate you.
Are you married today?
I am.
Have any kids?
No children.
Okay. The love that you have now and the love that you was looking before, what is the difference?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think I'm the difference, quite honestly. I believe that we draw to us based on how we show up in the world.
Okay.
And I was showing up as a version of myself that didn't believe I was worth it or worthy of it. And I think that's what I was getting. I was getting a lot of men for whom it was okay that I take care of them.
Yeah. You remind me of me. I just didn't have $250,000, but I did spend $20,000 on credit card debt. And when I think of the $20,000, about $15,000 of that was to impress. Mm-hmm. I didn't buy anything. I didn't buy nothing at all that benefited me.
Right.
I remember I spent money on flowers. I spent money on vacations. Mm-hmm. I lived in Oceanside, California. I remember I rented a Mustang, a top-down Mustang. That was $1,000 for the weekend. Mm-hmm. Picked her up from San Diego, California, drove to LA, and we stayed at the Lowe's Hotel in LA. Back then in the early 2000s, it was the hotel.
Yeah, it was.
But just for one night, it was $800 a night. We stayed there for 3 nights. I did room service. I took her shopping. And I think the sad part about it is, Darnyelle, is I can't even remember this woman's last name. If she walked past me today, like I have a blemish of who she is in my head, but
You'd have to do a double take?
I'll have to do a double take.
Yeah.
Like, wait, is that what? Did I do that for you? And what bothers me is that we can probably cost me about $5,000, but it actually cost me about $8,000.
Yeah, with interest.
With interest, late fees, finance charges.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how many of us, and I appreciate your honesty and vulnerability at this point, because you're right. I think a lot of us are spending money on people that do not have our heart or best interest in mind.
Yep, that are just along for the ride. I mean, there were a few men in there, but it was friends. I mean, it was just, it was weekends. Let's go here, let's go there. I remember probably the most damning thing I heard about credit cards. I was in college, walking the quad. One of my floor mates, I happened to live in a single, but we had friends together. We all had single rooms on the same floor. And she said, and I quote, "Girl, it's layaway you get to take home." Oh, I knew all about Layaway. That's
This generation don't know nothing about Layaway now.
But that's what I was taught. Like credit cards are Layaway you get to take home.
Yeah.
I grew up on Layaway. Oh, I could get behind it. And literally, I would go and lay away whatever the thing was because I knew I only had to pay the $15 or the $25 or whatever the minimum payment was. And as long as I made the minimum payment, I was good because I would keep my credit intact.
Sis, Layaway didn't have an interest though, right?
No, Layaway didn't.
But we only have like 90 days, I think.
Yeah, about 90 days. We used to do it in September for things for Christmas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My mom used to do that all the time at Walmart. Mm-hmm. She'll pick it up, go to the back of the Walmart.
Yep.
Stand in that long line.
Yep.
And I remember, oh my gosh, you're telling people my age.
Then that means I'm telling them mine too.
But it's like when I think about that I never heard a credit card put that way, but it is Layaway that you get to take home, but it's Layaway you get to take home for an extra cost.
Right. Well, that part was left off, but I could totally get with Layaway that you get to have now. Like you don't have to wait 90 days.
Yes. So when you got hit, when you saw, I have $250,000 in debt, what went through your body? What went through your head? Because I know how humans process, I know how men process, and I know how women process. Mm-hmm. How did you process that?
That's a really good question. And I don't know if I remember. I just remember feeling ashamed and very guilty that it had gotten to that point where I could no longer keep up with it. Like I literally balanced the balls in the air for as long as I could.
Yeah.
And I was literally robbing Peter to pay Paul, which was like my mom's ode to money, right? Mm-hmm. I did it for as long as I could, and I just could not keep the balls up anymore. Mm-hmm. And when I actually looked, because at that point in time in my life, I was an avoider. Mm-hmm. So I had no idea what the numbers were. I just knew I got the statement, I made the minimum payment, I kept it moving. I used the available credit, and whenever I needed more available credit, instantly there was a credit line increase.
Wow.
That's all I knew. And so when it actually really dawned on me, when I'm at the point where there's no more money in savings, there's no more money to play with, there's no more money on the credit cards to come up with, and the bill collectors are calling, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. The only thing I knew to do at that point was, you got to file bankruptcy. And it wasn't until I went and sat down with the bankruptcy attorney that we started listing everything out, and we found out what the amount was, because I didn't have a clue, because I'm paying the minimum payments, which are even still at this point in time per card, $1,000, maybe $1,500. It's not astronomical. And I didn't look at my money. Very different in the way that I am today. Today, I am in a loving, committed, respectful relationship with money. And I communicate with my money every single day. I express gratitude for it every single day. And I'm absolutely looking at all the accounts to see all of the zeros and all of the places to make sure it's not there. Yeah. Because I also need to tell you that when I was 16, my dad stole $7,500 from me.
$7,500?
He made me put half of every paycheck from 13 in the bank. And by the time I was 16, there was about $7,500 because I got to work full time in the summers and all of that, and about 15 hours during the school week. And one day I did not have cheerleading practice, so I got the mail and I opened my bank account statement. Instead of seeing $7,534.19, your girl saw $34.19.
Whoa.
So I had all kinds of money issues and stories that was impacting why I avoided money, why I didn't trust people around money, why I didn't trust myself around money. All the things all culminated into $250,000 in credit card debt and the grace to be able to have filed bankruptcy and have it discharged.
I like to keep it real. And you've said a lot that I wasn't expecting to come in this conversation. But as I'm listening to you, what I hear you saying, please correct me if I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. This is open. This is an open platform to say you're wrong. The reason why you went the way that you ended up going was because of somewhat of the trauma, unfortunately, in your childhood.
Definitely.
You had to work hard, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you lacked the attention and love from from your parents.
Correct.
You witnessed your mom, unfortunately go to jail.
Yep.
You worked hard, and when you went to look for the fruit of your hard labor, it was gone.
Yes.
And then it's like it was not just gone, but it disappeared from someone who was supposed to be covering you and watching you and helping you evolve and be better.
Yeah.
So then when you get to the age of freedom, there's really no system and strategy that you can follow, because everything that you saw from the past didn't benefit you. So you was trying to figure things out on your own, but to only find out that you were still doing it wrong.
That is very accurate.
And I wonder how many of us watching and listening to this show today can relate to your story.
Yeah, I'm sure that there are many, especially if you happen to have been raised by or around an addict.
Wow.
Because when my dad took the money, his response to me when I confronted him, well, I didn't think it was him. I was just like, there's a bank error and we need to go to the bank because my money is gone. And his response was, and I quote, "Oh, you thought you were living here for free." I'm 16 years old. I didn't ask to be here. But that was his response. And so all of these jumbled beliefs and truths at that particular point in time in my life about money are surfacing. And I have not an outlet nor a mentor to help me understand and rightfully divide everything I'm being taught around money.
Wow.
And all we do is we replicate the patterns that we have been exposed to.
Yeah.
And so I'm literally living a pattern over and over and over and over, to the point of like, okay, I don't know, I'm gonna be living in my car, hoping, like, I didn't know. Like, I watched my car repossessed. Like, I mean, all the things that one could experience in life, your girl has experienced as it pertains to money. And here's the cool thing that I want to hopefully allow for those who are listening and watching right now to get from this. It didn't happen to me, it happened for me. Because my anointing is for money. And I would not be able to lead, guide, advise, and mentor the way that I can today had I not experienced all of those things. Because everything that I learned to do as a result of that defining and cataclysmic moment when I was forced, air quotes, to take the financial literacy course, shaped the woman I get to be today, the multimillionaire I get to be today, the mentor that I get to be to the men and women that I get to work with to help them to build businesses that generate millions of dollars so that they can create and establish financial legacy. Yeah. I wouldn't have been able to do any of that had I not gone through all that I had gone through. Yeah. So it didn't happen to me, it happened for me. And I'm grateful that today I'm on the other side of it with lots of therapy. Yeah. Lots of processing, doing the work to recognize that it was actually a blessing. Yeah. And today I get to expose other people because of what I've been through.
What was that turning point for you? Was it the bankruptcy thing?
It was the financial literacy course. And it was learning what most of us learn traditionally when we are given financial literacy principles, budgeting and understanding what money is. But it was also the book, A Happy Pocket Full of Money, by David Cameron Jacondi, to understand the spirituality and neuroscience behind money.
Yes, ma'am.
And so really being able to pull those two together really is what made a difference. But I recognize that it was largely the way that I thought and saw myself as it pertains to money, because that's what I believe. I believe the way you see money is about the way you see yourself.
Okay, so when you're in this financial literacy course, and you filed bankruptcy, what was the next move that took you from where you were then, $250,000 in debt, to now to where you have a 7-figure business, 8-figure net worth, and also real estate property? And if I'm not mistaken, you're debt free outside of your real estate, right? So how do you go from loving debt to where now you don't have any debt, and you've built this 7-figure network? Because a lot of people get confused with my story. I don't do debt neither. I don't knock people who have credit cards. My issue is really not the credit card. My issue is the debt and the interest you pay on that debt, which is robbing from your future, right?
Right.
But it's like, what made you shift to this side of the world and leave that side of the world?
Yeah, and just to be clear, I still use credit cards, but I pay the balance when they come because I love points and I get to travel around the world first class
With you.
based on the expenditures that I make personally and in my business.
Totally
So I
understand.
still use them, but now, no, we don't carry any balances. And if I cannot afford to pay the bill when the bill arrives, then I cannot buy it.
If you can't afford to pay for it,
It can't get bought.
then you can't buy it.
Right.
Teach me your philosophy on that. Why do you believe that?
Because I had $250,000 in credit card debt. Because I paid finance charges because I thought it was layaway I got to take home. And what did Dr. Maya Angelou say? Once you know better, you do better. So once I learned better, I had to do better. And it allowed me to establish discipline. It made me start looking at my money. It made me start building a relationship with money. It made me start using the B word, budgeting.
Yeah.
Budgeting, I think if you don't have a budget, you a sucker. Like, I just think that you have to understand money.
Yes.
And you have to understand how to make money work for you. And if you don't know what it looks like, you don't know how to project it, you don't know what's coming in and what's going out, how can you make it work for you?
Facts.
And so I decided, me personally, that I no longer wanted to be held by what I was raised in. I wanted to raise up. And I think, again, once you know better, you do better. And so going through that course, learning what money actually was, learning that I get to actually dictate how much money flows to me based on the way that I see it and how I relate to it. Because, you know, we out here talking about, I can't afford that. That's expensive. If someone called you a name, are you going to keep spending time around people who calling you names?
No.
So I don't understand why people are always talking about, I can't afford that, or that's expensive, or that's too much. And they expect money to hang around them.
Facts. You're talking.
Where do they do that at?
Facts.
You know what I mean? So when I understood all of these things and I put the principles, just part of the reason why I'm a God girl and I love the word is because it is principles. And those who follow the principles get the results of the principles. I literally work the principles. I work the principles of money. I work the principles in every area of my life. The reason my business generates multiple seven figures, the reason why I can help my clients generate seven figures is because I have principles that when you follow them, they yield the result.
Facts.
Period, point blank. That's it. Like, and it's just for me, when you have lived on the other side and you are walked through a door and invited to experience the other side, if you're willing to make small but poignant shifts, I think the smart thing to do is to make the small and poignant shifts. I didn't do anything earth-shattering. I already had an investment portfolio. I started because I'm learning about money now and I'm learning about the stock market. I started asking questions to my financial advisor. I start making decisions about where I want some of my money to be. And guess what? We get into Microsoft. Really, really early.
Right.
And Microsoft made me a millionaire.
Wow.
Like literally, like, I mean, I didn't know any better. So I was trusting the people who were managing my portfolio to know what was right for me.
Yes.
But now I'm gaining some knowledge and some understanding. And so that I can come to these meetings that I'm having every quarter with my financial advisor with knowledge and information and questions to help them to help me to build to where it is that I want to be.
Yes.
It's the knowledge pool and the courage to ask the questions. And when you don't get the answer that you know is possible, pushing the limits instead of taking it. Like I used to just take it as, okay, they must be right because they're the expert. But no, that's just like the word. When I first started going to church and I didn't know God for myself, I took what the man or woman of God at the front of the church said to be true. And sometimes they weren't speaking the truth.
Facts.
But I didn't know any better. But once I started to study and I started to learn, I'm like, oh no, that's crazy. I can't say that. I can't turn to my neighbor and say that craziness you just asked me to say, because that's speaking damnation over my spirit.
Facts.
So once you know better, you have to do better. And I think that success leaves clues. And once you are given a small indication that the direction that you are moving in is producing what it is that you desire, you keep moving in that direction and the money multiplies. And you shift the way you believe and you leave your poverty mentality, you leave your middle class mentality and you take on a wealth mentality that says money was designed to move and to work for you. And you figure out how you can make money work for you. So then, yes, you have a stock portfolio, you get into crypto, you have real estate.
Yeah.
You find ways to make money move. I have a Louis Vuitton bag, but you know what? I also have Louis Vuitton stock.
Ooh.
And that stock had been doing some really amazing things. Because I figure if I'm going to carry it,
right.
I should also be investing. I don't need another $4,000 bag, but I could take $10,000 and I could put it into the stock and let that money make me some money so that if I could choose to work or I could have to work. And I'd much rather choose at this point in time. I'm 48 years old. I'm not trying to be out here hustling and grinding. That's why my book is about grace and ease, not hustle and grind.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I want to talk about that because we have some people who are saying, you know what? Okay, I'm inspired. I hear your story, where you came from to where you are now, but they're saying, hey, Dr. Darnyelle, what can I do today? What are some practical things I could do today to start the shift? I know I need to, get some more education. I know I need to get surrounded by different people, but what can I implement today that will start the shift until I can get into the class? I'm gonna take the very first thing. Get her book.
3 things. I wasn't going to say that. So yes, 4 things. Number 1, get the book.
Get the book.
No, the first thing that I would say is start paying attention to your money.
Okay.
Right. I remember when I worked with a relationship coach, when I desired to bring the love of my life into my life. Okay. And she said, pay attention to those who are paying attention to you.
Wow.
So start paying attention to your money. Wow. And so what could that look like? That could look like just going to your bank account and not necessarily being saddened by the fact that the numbers aren't what you want them to be, but what are the numbers?
Yes.
And how did the numbers get there? When you get your paycheck, if you have a job, if you're an entrepreneur, small business owner, hopefully you get to the point where you can be on payroll for your company and you're not living client to client. But listen, we all been there, done that, got the t-shirt. So we're not standing in judgment, but start paying attention to the money. Do a study of where your money goes. Right? If you are a person who likes to eat out and you don't have it like that, then maybe you need to start taking your lunch. If you go to the grocery store, like I don't go to the grocery store anymore. Now, we have a chef, a service. But before, when I would go to the grocery store and I would buy all this food and then we would eat out.
Yep.
Why did I just waste that money? Right? Like pay attention to it. Just become knowledgeable about what's already happening. So do a money study. Okay. Where's the money going right now? Okay. That's number 2. So first, just start looking at the money. Number 2, do a money study. And number 3, set some goals.
Come on now.
Okay, I don't know. I can't remember the statistic exactly. You could probably tell me, but I know it's something crazy. 63% of adults live paycheck to paycheck. 72%. And probably just as much, if not more, don't even have $1,000.
60%.
60%. Okay, so I haven't flipped. They don't even have $1,000 in the event that something happens. And let's be clear, if you're going to have an emergency, it's probably going to be more than $1,000.
Absolutely.
Right? So start to carve some off. Right? So to this day, I'm on a salary with my company. I get paid on the 15th and the 30th. I have money that I don't even see that automatically is appropriated to my high yield savings account.
Dog.
Out of my personal accounts, out of my household accounts, and my personal accounts.
Dog.
Money is automatically put in my high yield savings account.
Dog.
So I'm earning, I think right now, 6%.
Dog.
At minimum. Right. Even in my business, I don't have money sitting in our business bank accounts where there's no interest. That money is in CDs, 2, 3, or 6 month CDs, and we just keep rotating those things. If we need that because cash is not coming in, I'm grateful to say I don't ever have to touch those CDs. They just keep rolling over.
Right.
But they're making me 6 or 7 interest on that portion, or I'm buying real estate. I'm looking at the money and I'm looking for ways for the money to make me money.
Yes, ma'am.
Right now. For some of y'all not there yet. Your money can't make you money because you're just trying to live for right now. But look at where you can reduce some of your expenditures to create the cushion that you need to be able to breathe a little bit better. It's going to be uncomfortable. Today, I follow Profit First. Mike McAllowitz, shout out. I'm not getting anything for saying that. But it is a principle that I think works really, really well, especially for entrepreneurs, but it can be applied, to regular working folks as well. Profit First basically just says you don't wait until the end of the month, of the quarter, of the year to take your profit. You profit on the front end.
Yes.
So you automatically carve off a percentage. And there's a formula that he gives you to determine which percentage is going to work best for you.
Right.
You literally carve over that percentage. It goes in an account that you can't even see. that is making you money.
Yes.
Small steps. I remember before my business was making 7 figures and we had 7-figure cash flow, when I was just trying to get to 6-figure cash flow, and I would put 10% aside. 10%, just 10%.
You talking good.
Just 10%. Like, and it eventually it got to 6 figures.
Yeah.
And then I didn't have to touch that money. So I could put that money into investments and it started to multiply.
Yep.
And then it got to 7 figures.
Yep.
And as we run our business, I don't run my business right up to what we generate each month.
Facts.
So the extra money that comes in, we're looking for ways for that money to make us money.
Facts.
Sometimes that's through investing in consulting or hiring teams. Sometimes that's in real estate. And now I'm into buying other businesses.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but I'm looking for ways for the money that I don't need right now because I know how to manage to how I live. And I live well,
Right.
but I'm not out here flossing and wasteful.
Yeah.
There's a purpose to my spending, and it's allowing me to live the way that I know that I deserve to live. And it is also allowing me to create financial legacy, right? Like for the children I don't even have today. But I have nieces and nephews that are going to be doing real good.
Facts.
When Aunt Darnyelle,
Facts.
her sunsets.
Yes.
Because I'm making decisions in financial stewardship.
Yeah.
Because I understand what money is, and I understand the Bible talked about money, wealth, and possessions more than heaven and hell.
Yes. You teaching.
For a reason.
You're teaching.
And so we have to understand that money was designed for us to get it, to understand it, to multiply it. That's why I love the parable of the talents, because it's literally a lesson in how you see yourself and therefore how you see money. The servant that got banished because he buried the one, he was in fear. He did not see himself as worthy as being able to multiply that money. And that's why he was banished. That's why he was put out, right? So anyway, I could go on and on and on.
Yo, but I really wanna just commend you on what you're saying, because all of this, what you're talking about, is inside of your book, Move to Millions. It is a proven framework to become a millionaire, $1 million CEO with grace and ease instead of hustle and grind.
Yes.
And that is my whole philosophy for myself. Is last year in 2023, after my sabbatical, I came back and I told my team, we're not working Fridays no more. I told my team, you're gonna get 2 weeks off in July. You're gonna get 1 week off in November. You're gonna get 2 weeks off in December.
Nice.
And we're not working any more Fridays. And I said, because I think within our culture, the Black culture, we're used to hustling and grinding hard.
I don't even think it's just the Black culture in the United States.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, for like 2 seconds, can we just have a history lesson? Like,
Talk about it.
The whole country's foundation is on hard labor.
Yes, it is.
So our forefathers and our ancestors who told us you had to work hard, because that was their reality. They had to work hard, first for nothing and then for very little.
Yeah.
So that's all that they knew, and that's all they knew to pass down to us. So we got it honest. But there comes a point in time where you can have a revelation that that's not the way it has to be. I remember the first time I made amazing money and I did not labor for it.
Facts.
It felt guilty and like something had to be wrong because I did not have to sweat on my brow to get it.
I didn't feel good.
The first time. Just the first time. And then I was like, wait a minute, there's something to this.
What?
But the first time I was like, something's not right. Did I do something illegal? The fact that I made this money and there is not sweat on my brow. I didn't work 24 hours. I didn't spend all day doing whatever. And now I know, like I'm sitting here with you right now, and I know right now I'm making money.
Yeah.
In multiple ways because I have multiple streams of income.
Yeah. But doesn't it feel good?
It does. It feels amazing. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all the things. So let this be hope to anybody who's out there who's like, whoa, my situation is not nearly as bad as hers were. It can change in an instant if you change.
Yeah.
Literally, if you change. When you work on the 6 inches in between your ears, you get to feel 6 or 7 figures in between your fingers. It's a game changer.
32, you're drowning in debt, $350,000. 35, you change that situation. 37, 38, you are a net worth millionaire. So within a matter of 4 or 5 years, life changed. And I think the reason why people struggle is because they don't believe it can happen.
Yeah.
And so what they'll rather do is rather being uncomfortable for 5 years and really stretch themselves to change their narrative. What I see within this space is people have allowed something that is uncomfortable become comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
So me living paycheck to paycheck, hey, I got a roof over my head, I got food on my table and clothes on my back. That's all I need.
And I'm like all of my friends, because we all live in
Right.
paycheck to paycheck, right?
Right. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not the life that God has for us and want for us. And I posted on my Instagram a couple of weeks ago that I did my first private yacht cruise.
Oh, nice.
It cost me about $40,000. And I didn't put the price on Instagram because I knew some people just couldn't just fathom that. But inside of that post, I said, man, I thought this was only for TV. And then when I started really stepping back and doing what you're saying, now, wait a minute, why is that only for TV? How come I can't have it?
Yeah.
It's only unreachable because I said it wasn't reachable.
Yeah.
So when I switched it and said, I'm going to do that one day, when I switched and said, I'm going to buy my dream car one day, when I switched and said, I'm going to be a business owner, I started doing the research to get the information, to learn how to take the steps to go towards doing that. And so I'm 40 today, and I'm like, wait a minute. When I really started going after this, about 28. Where would I be today if I didn't change that at 28? Because honestly, if you would have asked me, I thought I was 28 yesterday. Like, them 12 years went by fast.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, if I wouldn't have switched and if I wouldn't have changed and if I wouldn't have learned and made mistakes and got around the people that I gotten around, where would I be at today?
Yeah. And start, no matter where you are, start where you are today, because it can flip in an instant.
It will. It will.
Can.
So inside of this formula book, and I know you also have other materials that you teach, what is one thing that you're excited about when people get your message? When people get this financial literacy message, how does it feel? You know, you're a wife, you're not living paycheck to paycheck, you got money, you got a business. How does it feel waking up and you have the opportunity to do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it? Can you describe that feeling to the people watching?
Oh, that's such a good question. It feels good.
Yeah.
It feels like I am living the exceeding and abundant that God promised, greater than I could ever ask of, see, think, or imagine, right? The promises of yes and amen, and that no good thing will be withhold it from me because I walk uprightly. And it is worth what has to change or what had to change in me to make it a reality. I love today, one of the things I affirm over my life every single day as I pray and just spend time with the Father is I am grateful that I have more money than I can give, spend, invest, or save. I literally have more money than I know what to do with. And I don't share that from a space of I'm the only one that can do it. I share from a space that is possible for you. I believe that God is no respecter of persons. And if he could make it happen for me, the product of two drug-addicted turned crack-addicted parents, addicts, incarcerated felon, like all the things, he can make it happen for anybody. Any man who follows the principles can experience the principle of reward. And I like to live my life just to be an example of what's possible, right? And so when I wrote this book, I've written 7 other books. This is my 8th book.
Wow.
This is the book I was actually born to write. The other books were really written out of necessity.
Okay.
And that's probably another episode for another day. But when I wrote this book, it was important for me to chronicle my own journey because I didn't wake up like this, right? I believe no one goes to bed a blunder and wakes up a wonder.
Yes, ma'am.
I believe that our journey is about being willing to be vulnerable in integrity and transparent with ourselves.
Yeah.
And getting to the point where we can honestly look at ourselves and what it is that we've accomplished. And so I bare my soul. It's part memoir, it's part methodology. It's the framework that I use with my clients. I'm called to entrepreneurs, and I believe that a 7-figure business is the floor. And no disrespect to anyone who has a business at any other level beneath that. But if we're being honest, if you have a 5-figure or even a low 6-figure business, you know it ain't enough.
Right. Right.
You cannot be the change when you don't have any.
Facts.
And so I did it myself first through, my own experience. And, and I came into entrepreneurship having been a vice president in corporate America, being a Mary Kay Pink Cadillac sales director, number one in the state of Delaware, like all the things leading up to it. And I chronicled a framework that is simple to follow.
Yeah.
And to date, it has created 45 first-time $1 million CEOs and 25 next-time seven-figure CEOs.
Wow.
And they are also becoming millionaires, because we have to be clear that having $1 million business does not make you a millionaire, right?
Right.
Cash is actually not an asset if you're spending it.
Facts.
And so it's first about building the foundation under your business, and then how to turn your business into the vehicle to create financial legacy.
Yes.
I think legacy is financial. Go ahead and pass down those recipes if you want, but when you give them something that they can fold, then you get to shift and change generations.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all, we could talk for another hour or 2 hours, and we're definitely going to bring her back on here to do some more teaching. But I want y'all to get a copy of her book, Move to Millions. This is a woman who I stand behind. Again, y'all know I don't have a whole lot of people on my show like that. I think it's more so right around 60% me teaching, then I'll bring in 40% of other people who I stamp and approve and believe in. And so I want y'all to get Dr. Darnyelle Harmon's book, because this woman knows what she's doing. And she just loves God, man. And for me, I think there's not a lot of people like you and I who are teaching money from a biblical perspective. And I think that we need more of us.
Absolutely.
That believes in, because I think sometimes people may get my message confused, because I'm not on the prosperity side, but then I'm not far from, I don't believe in miracles. I'm right in the middle. Like, I pray like it all depends on God, but then I'm gonna work like it all depends on me. But my work is not hard labor. It's what's the right strategy and system I need to put into place to make this money with ease.
Yeah.
But I'm still working.
Oh yeah. Their work has to be done, right? And you got to give God something to bless. So there is something that we all have to do, but it doesn't have to be grueling. It doesn't have to be out of integrity. It doesn't have to be the sole focus of who you are and what it is that you bring to the table. It's not your identity. I am not my work. I am a God girl. I'm a disruptor. I'm a status quo crusher. My whole existence is to get people to see and think differently so that they can experience the best that God desires for them.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with my business. That just happens to be the vehicle that I use to be able to do it. And I think it's important in this day and age to understand the principles of wealth and to really read what God has to say about what, like he talked about it 2,300 times. More than heaven or hell, he talks about money, wealth, and possessions. He talked about it so much because you need to understand it. You need to get it.
Yes, ma'am.
It is not the root of all evil.
Yeah.
That scripture that has all the people looking at everything wrong.
Right.
Because it's misinterpreted, because we're looking at it in English, although the Bible wasn't written in English. And so it's lost in translation, and it's getting a lot of people jacked up. So hopefully they will continue to get the message, and they will lean in and learn that having access to wealth is what God actually did intend for us. Not just the power to have it, but to actually have it, to touch it, to feel it, to roll around in it. That's what we're here to experience. And we are so much closer if we're willing to show up and do the work.
Woo! Y'all listen, man, I'm super excited about what Dr. Darnyelle is doing. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
This is an interview I've been waiting for. We're gonna bring her back on, y'all. Let me know in the comment section if y'all think I should bring her back on, because I think she has so much more inside of her that she could teach. And my whole thing is, if you in the money space, God-fearing space, man, I'm gonna bring you on the show. Because I think there's a lot of people who need help. And if we all come together, we can impact the kingdom. Yes. And at the end of the day, to build the kingdom, we need more money.
We need lots more money.
We need, a whole lot.
A whole lot.
So listen, the first place, the kingdom that you're responsible for is your kingdom, your home. Get this book, Move to Millions. We'll drop it in the show description in today's show. And I promise you all, you will be blessed. Hey, thank you all so much for joining us. We'll see you in the next show. Peace out.